Hello and welcome to another episode of Geography Made Easy. In these videos, we try to make difficult geographical topics easy. And in today's video, we are not going to talk about any geographical topic, but rather we are going to discuss about how to write answers for the Calcutta University examination. So I usually correct a lot of answer scripts and here I will be concentrating myself on the theoretical aspects. I get the chance of correcting quite a number of answer scripts of Calcutta University, and I have been doing that for the 1 plus 1 plus 1 system as well as the CBCS system. And of course now we are also correcting answer scripts for the CCF or NEP systems. Now, I am myself a student of Calcutta University, having done my undergraduation and post-graduation from the same university. And I feel, quite an experience of teaching under this university as well as in Bardhaman University. So the question writing pattern which I have observed, I would like to share, and I will talk about how usually one needs to write their answers. So in Calcutta University examination, for the geography papers, it can be major or minor, that is honors or generic elective or pass. Usually we see three types of patterns which are mentioned. The first type of pattern is the 10 mark or the descriptive pattern. The second is the 5 mark or the short analytical type of questions. And the third type is the 2 mark or the short description or definition based questions. Now this pattern has been there even for the 1 plus 1 plus 1 system previously, when it was a little different, but the more or less the pattern was the same. So first I will start with the first type of answer, or descriptive type of answer, which which we expect students to write. So for the descriptive type of answers, which is a 10 mark long answer, a number of students, what they tend to do is they tend to write too much in these answers. And what happens then is they are not able to complete their entire paper. Now this is something which is very important, and for scoring good marks, and which was very much possible in the CBCS system rather than the older systems, one needs to complete writing all the answers. And in this case I would always say that you should start from the 2 mark and the 4 mark and then move on to the 10, or you should time yourselves in such a manner that you know that how much time you're spending for each, say, 10 mark questions. Because what happens in geography is that students have to write quite a lot, like the number of questions which they have to attempt is usually much more than the other subjects. Because during invigilation also I have seen that when we are taking into consideration any other subject of BA BSc, apart from maybe history or subjects like maths, usually geography students have to write quite a lot. And also that becomes a pressure, and a lot of students, they don't finish the papers, or they finish it in a very half-hearted fashion. So this ultimately has a negative impact on their marks, which they don't tend to understand where they are going wrong and why they are going wrong. So the first aim should be to complete the questions, complete answering all the questions, and one needs to keep in mind how much or what is the word limit. And you have to back calculate and practice and make sure that your answers are of a proper length. As to what has been asked, you're answering them with the help of a proper length answer. So let us go back to the 10 mark answers. 10 mark questions, they expect you to write 350 to 500 words. So the officially it is 500 words at the current moment. I am looking at the NEP syllabus, and the NEP question paper, very directly they have said 500 words. 500 words is quite a lot, and a lot of students aren't able to write. And I don't think I've ever read a particular answer script which has 10 mark questions which has 500 words. But at least, and this is the least which we can expect, is if a student is answering this 10 mark question, usually they are broad descriptive type of questions, they should have 4 sides. They should be covering 4 sides of the university type answer script, which is little larger than the A4 size. So it should not be less than 4 sides, 4.5 sides. That is expected of a 10 mark answer. If your handwriting is moderate, it is like 7 to 8 words in a line, and in a page you are writing at least 30 lines, 30 to 40 lines, I can expect this. So you have to do the calculation here as to how many words are fitting in your line, one line, and how many lines you are writing in your paper, and then do the multiplication and see and compare it with 4 sheets, 4 sides, 4.5 sides, maximum 5 sides, because you cannot go beyond that. If you are writing more than 5 sides, you will not be able to finish your questions, your answer question paper. This has to be kept in mind when you are writing your answer. Now what happens is, a lot of students, either they invest too much of time in one question and they skip or forget the others, and that is very, very problematic. You should never do that. So how do I achieve this? I can only achieve this if I have practiced writing, and I will say again and again, with students who practice writing, you will do much better. You will find your exams to go well despite any kind of any other problems. If you have not practiced writing your answer, you are bound to not be able to complete your question paper. So usually if we have a 50 mark question, 50 mark paper, we can invest 25 to 30 minutes for one answer. So then we have just 2 hours. In case of CU exam, we have 2 hours, 2 hours 50 marks, and 20 marks goes into 10 mark answers. So half an hour I can invest. So that is why I suggest that first you should attempt the 4 mark and the 2 mark, complete them, and then move on to your, so within 1 hour you should be done with those, and then you can move on to your 10 mark answers. Now if I have next I have my 5 mark answers, and in my 5 mark answers, the designated time which has been given by Calcutta University, the word limit is 150 words. So if I roughly understand, a 150 word answer is 1 side, 1.5 side, or maximum 2 sides, that is 1 page. So 1 A4, a little bigger than A4 side. So use the A4 side, 1 side, and the half of the other, or the full sheet if your handwriting is big. Do not write beyond that, because it is not required. You will not finish your answer on time. So 150 words, I need to be able to time myself in such a way that if I'm answering, say, if I have to answer 4 answers, they should be 7 to 8 minutes. Each answer should have 7 to 8 minutes, so that by half an hour or a little bit more, I can finish all the 4 marks. Then I just have the 2 mark answers. And 2 mark answers, the designated word limit is 50 words for each answer, which is actually half a page. But I've seen students write less, but actually it is half a page. Now here I will like to mention that when we are talking about the word limit, we are not taking into consideration diagrams. So when I have corrected a lot of answer scripts, and when I have looked at the head examiner instructions which have been sent by the University of Calcutta for correction, paper correction, it is usually written for, say, 2 mark answers. That is, you have to write the definition and give a diagram as well as examples. So if and wherever, and this applies for not just the 2 marks but rather the 4 marks as well as the 10 marks, wherever possible and whenever possible, please give diagrams. And this applies even for human geography papers, though a lot of students feel that human geography doesn't need diagrams or cannot have diagrams. No, they can. You can have and put diagrams in all your answers. Actually, you can graphically represent what you are going to write. because once you graphically represent what you are going to write, you can write a little less. This is one thing which I have seen which works. So say I have to discuss about the different types of biomes. They have asked me a 10-mark question, that is what is biomes, and discuss the equatorial rainforest biome in details. In maybe they have specified two aspects of that. Usually a lot of the questions they do that. So in this case, when I'm talking about biome, I give the definition of biome. And when I'm talking about what biome is located where, if I can give a simplified world map, it can be a schematically drawn, very simplified diagram. I don't need to be a big artist or with, absolutely, but the world map should look like a world map, and that comes with practice. If I can give that with the major biomes marked, the examiner who is correcting my copy immediately knows that this person knows what is a biome and has given as to the location or the geography of which biome is located where. There is also a simplified diagram which shows the different biomes in respect to a hypothetical continent. Instead of giving a world map, you could even use that. And that has also, you need to practice that diagram. And so you have biomes, what are biomes, and you have your diagram talking about which biome is located where. And now say you are moving into equatorial rainforest biome, you directly move into what is the equatorial rainforest biome and where it is located, your location. Again, you need your location map of the world, where it is located. According to Köppen's diagram, where it can be located, again you can give the hypothetical landmass with your particular biome, that is the equatorial rainforest biome, marked on that map. Its nomenclature. And then maybe you can go into the details of, say, they have asked me about flora and say about the difficulties or challenge faced by the biome. So directly I can go into flora. I need to give the diagram about the layered structure of the vegetation in this case, because if I don't do that, my answer remains incomplete. I talk about plant adaptations and I give a few examples, because of course I will not be able to draw diagrams of the plants, say buttress roots. If I'm talking about buttress roots, I can quickly draw a small sketch beside buttress roots to explain what I'm trying to say. And when I'm talking about epiphytes, say I'm talking about orchids and other kinds of plants which grow in the equatorial rainforest biome, again I can give examples of names, and in the diagram which I'm showing the layers of the vegetation, I am putting in the I'm showing which particular plant species can be seen in which layer, which canopy has which layer. So the examiner who is correcting my copy immediately can relate the point to the answer which I have written. Finally, I come into, say, the problems associated with this biome, and one of the biggest problems and challenges is deforestation. I talk about deforestation and I give, say, a case study. I talk about a particular rainforest which has been badly affected by deforestation. Maybe it can be the northeastern part of India, or maybe I can talk about the western Ghats also. So it can be an Indian example, it can be a world example, but I need to put an example, and there I can maybe put a diagram and draw that which areas were once covered by forests but now it has got depleted. So the point I'm trying to make is you have to make your answer look different from what your friends are writing. So this helps. You can do this once you do reference work. So maybe the particular answer you are reading from a particular book, or maybe from a particular note, is something which is available for A, B, C, D, E, F. But if I want to make an impact to the person who is correcting my copy, I need to put in the extra. Now the extra, we have internet now, which makes life so easy, which we didn't have. We actually went to the library, we looked at books, and from there we would refer and try to put in the extra. But you have the internet, which makes your life so much so easier. But here I would also like to mention that looking at good reference books by good authors is very, very important, because your basic writing or understanding of the discipline will develop if you read good books. And that can be foreign as well as Indian authors. But do look at the books which have been written by geographers who are working in that particular area. So don't always look at UPSC style and compilation books. I understand they are important, but They are additions or helps to my what I'm looking at as my basic notes. A lot of books, foreign author books, has these beautiful diagrams, and you have websites, you can have a look at them, and from there maybe you can pick up a few of the diagrams which you find attractive and put it into your answer. Now this again comes with practice. The more you practice, the more better it will be. Okay, now somebody can ask me, say, ma'am, I'm writing a particular answer on geographical thought. Say I'm talking about radicalism. Ma'am, what diagram do I put in radicalism? Yeah, true. So when we look at a paper like geographical thought or philosophy of geography, the scope to put in diagrams becomes much less than, say, a paper in climatology, geomorphology or biogeography, especially the physical geographies part. But it is not impossible. The thing is that we don't attempt to put in diagrams. Now what kind of diagram can I put in this case? Say I'm talking about radicalism. I can talk about the different schools of radical schools of thought, and I can underline and highlight the schools of thought, what they mean. In my own simple language I can write about them, and I can maybe draw a timeline to show the evolution of the school of radical geography as it has gone through the different ages, and say this is a 10-mark question. I can, if I put this diagram, it actually saves me a lot of effort to write in details, paragraphs and paragraphs of things which I would have otherwise expressed in words. So I can write a little less. Maybe if it is a 10-mark, I can complete the particular answer in 2.5 pages, and I will be giving the major points. So when teachers correct your answer script, they definitely look at points. They don't look at the length of your answers, which is a misconception which is there for Calcutta University exams. We do not look at the length of the answers, we look at the content of the answers. And I'm sorry to see that certain answers are very bad. We get very substandard answers. It seems as if students have not read any book at all. So don't do that. When you're writing your answer, make sure that your answer is relevant and it is to the point. It has points wherever, make it point. But this is a essay type, the answers are essay type, so you have to elaborate on what you are going to speak. Students coming from ICSC or ISC and CBSE boards, a lot of them face the problems or challenges of writing long answers. Usually students coming from the state boards are more equipped at writing longer answers. But I am myself not from the state board, and trust me, I did face difficulties in the beginning, but it is not impossible to overcome the challenge. Again and again, I would like to say that you can overcome this challenge if you start practicing writing. Look at the previous year question papers which are available in the Calcutta University, near the Calcutta University College Street Market. You will get the question bank, or you can get the previous year question papers which is available in many of the colleges' websites, or you can ask your seniors. Get hold of the questions. The question pattern is more or less predictable, and prepare your own answer. Write it in your own words. Prepare your own answer in such a way that you understand what you are writing. Okay, so coming to now the 5-mark answers. So as I said, 150 words, and in the 150 words we need to put in diagrams wherever it is possible, and examples whenever it is possible. Especially if we can put in Indian examples, it makes my answer more valid and more better. So I have to put in the effort of writing and putting in Indian examples whenever possible, and diagrams are a must. Now 2-mark answers, a lot of you might again tell me, ma'am, 2-mark answers hardly we get to write. Yeah, it's definition we have to write in many cases. If there is a diagram, why not just put it? For example, there is a question which comes as to what is optimum population. This is from the population paper, and this is a very common question which has come time and again. Now, if you Google, even if you are Googling, you will see that if you type optimum population and write population geography, you will be getting a particular diagram, a small graph. If you can, because the graph shows exactly what we mean by optimum population. So if you can put in this graph, so not necessary a diagram means I have to draw leaves and I have to draw parts of a plant, I have to draw say the diagram of any kind of geographical feature, say a river or a meander. Not just that, I can put in diagrams, I can put in flow charts, I can put, as I said, a timeline. So these things also count. So many of the human geography books written by many authors, they have excellent flow charts which I really love. And if these come in as in your answer scripts, I'm sure you're going to get much more. You will get very good marks and you will get much more than all your other classmates. So practice writing, practice reading, and practice diagrams. If you follow these four, I'm sure your answer writing skills will increase and it is not going to be very important. And before we end this video, do not forget to practice, time yourselves at home and practice writing answers, and keep to the time and make sure that you complete all the answers in your paper. So if you like this video, please leave a comment, because I then will be able to understand if these videos are helpful to you. And if you would like me to make a video in Bengali, I can do that. I can make a dual language video today. I just did it in English. If you want me to do that, please let me know. And if you like it, please share it with your friends, and do not forget to like my video and to subscribe to my channel for more such content on geography. So till then, and all the best for your upcoming university examinations. Bye.